Hi, I'm Jennifer Lindsley. I'm here to give you a quick update about some changes to some forms. I'm going to speak specifically about the agency agreements, so the listing contracts, all of them, buyer agency agreement, and the tenant representation agreement. The changes that I'm going to mention, I'm going to focus on the WB1 residential listing contract, but those changes that were made were universal across all of the listing contracts, so if I'm mentioning it, it was changed in all of the listing contracts, and some version of it was included in buyer agency or tenant rep. So first things first, all of these changes, the forms will have an optional use date of December 1st, 2023, mandatory use date of January 1st, 2024. The first change as it relates to the commission section, the language in the old listing contract said the firm's commission shall be. That feels a little heavy-handed for a provision that is negotiable between the seller and the firm. So to add some clarity for consumers, buyers, or sellers, the language was changed and it says seller and the firm agree that the firm's commission shall be, indicating that it's an agreement between the seller and the firm, not a mandate from the firm to the seller. The next change was in the compensation to others section. So there was language added that said there's no standard market commission rate. Commissions and type of service may vary by firm and are negotiated based on the firm you hire. So consumer, you have choice here. You can make some decisions about the services you want and what agreement you come to with the firm about how much those services are going to cost. Compensation to others may be offered to firms acting as subagents and firms representing buyers as an incentive to participate in the sale of the firm's listings through multiple listing services or in compensation agreements. The next change you saw was in the dispute resolution section. There's always been language in there about alternative dispute resolution, but it was moved so that the discussion of alternative dispute resolution comes before judicial resolution of if there's a dispute. You know, it may not be the best for the parties to go to court. They might be better off going to alternative dispute resolution, so they wanted to emphasize that that was an option. Additionally, there was a note added there about the 2-year statute of limitations for suing a real estate licensee as it relates to their real estate transactions. That's in our statutes, but it wasn't mentioned in the listing contract, so it seemed like a good time to add that reference in the listing contract just to highlight that there is indeed a statute of limitations as it relates to suing a real estate licensee. The last change that was made to all of the listing contracts and the buyer agency agreements is a wire fraud warning that's been added to all of them. And I'm actually gonna let my colleague Wendy talk about the wire fraud warning because it was also added to all of the offers.
Thanks, Jennifer. Hi, everyone. I am Wendy Hoang. I'm a staff attorney here at the WRA. And like Jennifer said, I'm going to talk about the wire fraud warning that we have put in all of our forms. So because real estate transactions have been a continued target of this kind of fraudulent activity, the DSPS and the Real Estate Examining Board thought it would be a good idea to not only put this wire fraud warning in all of the listing contracts, buyer agency agreements, and tenant representation agreements, but also include it in all the offers. It essentially says that any consumer should make sure that they are verifying any wiring instructions with an independent known source. Because what's been happening is that these fraudsters have been infiltrating emails and sending fraudulent wiring instructions, and then that money gets stolen and is essentially impossible to track. So to alert consumers about this, we have put this warning in all of the offers and the agency agreements. And the mandatory use date is January 1st, so same as all the listing contracts, buyer agency agreements. And because it's such a prevalent issue, we made sure that it is hard to miss. It is in a box, it's indented, and it's at the end of the form. One thing that you don't have to worry about with the offers is that because we added that wire fraud warning at the end, no other section has been moved. So it's right before the signatures, consumers can't miss it. And any other section of the form or language has not been modified in the offer. So if you're looking for the inspection contingency, financing, definitions, those are all the same. The wire fraud warning is just at the end. If you are looking for any updates to forms, you can go to our website. We do have a forms update webpage. If you go to the top bar to resources, transactional, and then form update, you'll see when we come out with any new news about forms or any additions or updates to any forms. So you'll be able to find all this information there as well.